Okay, so stereotype comes from what industry? Sorry?
Media.
What form of media? It's more for the type, not the thing. It's a printing term. It means that once they've made the plate, all of them are the same. Does that make sense? Stereotype. So you've got one plate, then the print, and they're all the same. So stereotypy is a guy called Amos Wilson, a book called The Development Psychology of the Black Child. And Amos, in it, he coins the term stereotypy, meaning living down to stereotypes, or living to the stereotypes that are being, well, let's get on to that one. Generated by who? Who's generated the stereotype? So the stereotype is generated and is displayed by, well, let's look here. Has any of you seen this film? Remember Dumbo?
Yes.
Who's the black characters?
Crow.
The crows. What do the crows do?
Sing.
No, that's after. When they first see it. Look here, look here, look here. They take the piss out of him. Yeah? But then what happens is, they also give the white mouse the idea that Dumbo, hey, maybe you all flew. So they spotted the potential, but what they started doing was singing, dancing, rapping, falling about laughing, cussing down. In actual fact, the mouse then got them to teach Dumbo to bloody fly. Who profited? The mouse. No, this is 1941. What were the laws called that were passed against black people in the United States of America?
Jim Crow.
The Jim Crow laws. This is a filthy stereotype put forward 1941 in Dumbo. But what happened is, they could still put it out there because there's no one challenging them on a level. Yeah. I show this to young people all the time. I've watched it. I mean, I went in. I was doing a session one time with some guys from Westminster Borough, and these guys all came into the room. Never met me before, or nothing. And they're and they're just like falling back. That's all they're dealing with. And so when I stood up, I said, "Yo, my niggas, you alright?" And they went, "Yo, yeah, nigga, yeah, nigga, yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, alright." Half an hour later, they're like, "Ah, bullshit." So I started breaking this nonsense down. Nigga. Nigga means dead. Derived from negro, necro, means dead. It means you can be mentally dead in your cultural ways, your high level of expectation, whatever. Yeah, is a dynamic. That's very important. Here's an observation. Frederick Douglass, he said that I found that to make a contented slave is necessary to make a thoughtless one. It is necessary to darken his moral and mental vision, and as far as possible, to annihilate the power of reason. Does that make sense? Annihilate that power of reason. So what happens is you suck it down as a consumer and never get ownership and start trading with it and reason things out with it. What's good about it? What's bad about it? Constructively criticize it. Break it down. That's what, you know Cedric the Entertainer in Barbershop?
Yeah.
And is there saying that, was it Martin Luther King was a hoe? He's saying comes out with those kind of things, yes?
Yeah.
All that my woman there did was sit down on the bus. Just sat her ass down. That to me, yeah, it's offensive. It's out of order. But, watch this. Truth will stand the test of anything. And if you're afraid, what did Malcolm say? If you're afraid to tell the truth, you don't deserve freedom. Martin Luther King was a ladies' man, as they say. He was out of order. But you see, what happens is, that gets smoothed over. You understand me? We smooth it over, and then somebody's wrongdoing. Look at that now. The president likes big cigars and interns.
Everybody don't smoke, but
Yeah.
everybody smoke.
So this is a kind of level. Watch this one now. This is. Oh, sorry. Did you see that one? They come too fast. It's like subliminal advertising. You see that one? You see that? That's to be best. How many hours do you think youngsters spend in front of those?
Too much time.
All the time. And who's actually doing the production of it? That's why you need Twilight now. You start breaking that stuff down with you. Who are the owners? Let's give you a second observation. This was his dates, yeah? So you know that these are coming from those two dates, yeah? 1818 to 1895. He said the following is a statement made by the young Frederick Douglass's slave master as a warning to his own wife. So Frederick was a slave, his wife was doing something for Frederick, and this is what he warned his wife. This is what he said: learning will spoil the best nigger in the world. Learning will spoil the best nigger in the world. What does it say? You want to hide something from a nigger? Book. Put it in a book. Put it in a book. There's a this will be. I've got some. I think I might have a couple of things if anybody's interested. The school curriculum and the national curriculum. This is hell of a funny. Because what it actually says, let's see if I can just watch this. Education influences and reflects the values of society and the kind of society we want it to be. It is important, therefore, to recognize the broad set of common values and purposes that underpin the school curriculum and the works of the schools. Foremost is a belief in education, at home and at school, as a route to the spiritual, moral, social, cultural, physical and mental development, and thus the well-being of the individual. Now, if I take that little phrase there, it means that if the child's culture is not being nurtured, therefore it's saying thus the well-being, it means that their well-being cannot be being nurtured if their culture is not being nurtured. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And that term is actually used about 4 times in 4 pages in the beginning of the national curriculum. Yeah? Making it clear. And watch this. There's the funny thing. Aim 2, the broad aim. It says the school curriculum should aim to promote the pupils' spiritual, moral, social and cultural development and prepare all pupils for the opportunities, responsibilities and experiences of life. That's what we paid for! But no, dirty, man, it's dirty. Look what it says.
My daughter came home one day and she said that her teacher said that she's not black, she's brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, how do I respond to something like that?
That's literal and symbolic. Literal and symbolic. How do you respond to it? Find out the context under which the teacher said it. Yeah, before you go on blaze. Yes? Because we'll get down there and sometimes we're going on blaze. As soon as you hear that, the black and brown. Well, actual fact, I've never ever met a black person, I've never met a white person. No, a white person that was alive.
Yeah.
But these are literally. No, look, if you see some corpses, you understand me? The colour. Yeah. But what I'm trying to put to you is that if you take that as a literal thing, and then there's a symbolic. You know, symbolic, we use that term black. Yeah. I prefer African because it says last 4 letters say I can. That Jamaican says I can. Yeah. But black. It's one of those things. But
How old is the daughter, like?
She's 8 now.
8.
Which is about
You know, because there's a whole children's books, from Melanie, which introduces children. Yeah,
it's the teacher who's
I
needed.
know, but you are
I have
a
owned
teacher.
books and they're very expensive, by the way. But
They're like £7, £7.50, like 4.
Yeah, I just want to look in the mirror. I like that one. So it's just really small.
Yeah. Well, there's the dynamic when you say expense is relative. That's what had been happening, is that the slave master's wife had been teaching the young Frederick to read. Do you get this kind of dynamic? It's considered a dangerous thing to teach because it will spoil the nigger. He won't be a good slave. This is a brother who I've got a lot of time for. This is a guy called Henry Dumas, 1934 to 1968. Brother Henry was actually shot down by a transport guard in New York by mistaken identity. This is what he said. Thought He said, one of the greatest roles ever created by Western man has been the role of the Negro. And one of the greatest actors to play the role has been the nigger. Yeah? I always say to the youngsters, I said, can you imagine this? I said, imagine that as a teacher wanting to engage them. A white teacher wants to engage the young people better. And they come in one morning and say, good morning, my niggers. My bitches, my horse, my dogs. How are you? I like to be down with your culture. What would they say, do you think? You're being racist, you can't say that. Yeah, well, they said that, they're not saying it among themselves. What's this?
No, I hear that people say, like, I can call you a nigger.
Yeah.
A white person can't call you a nigger. I don't want to call me a nigger. I don't care if they're black.
Well, and who kills more black people now? Black people with guns made by. Okay. So you got a kind of conditioning going on all the time. Well, the dynamic is that it's the same American introduced disease situation that was actually manufactured at Fort Detrick, Maryland back in the 1970s, and then the congressional paper was actually passed over in 1971 for the development of a virus that would actually destroy the body's immune system, and they gave, I think it was $1.5 million that Congress passed over to actually do that. It's yeah, black and white. But those are just like, those are things, that's about keeping yourself healthy. You understand me? There's some things that we, maybe what we don't do. Did you see them then? Did you see them then? Did you see them? Yeah. I'm trying to do the subliminal thing. It's not doing very well. These are Dumbo Crows, yeah? These are Dumbo Crows. So A Tale of Two Cities. Have you seen this game before?
Yeah.
The world famous property trading board game becomes the stolen property fencing game. Get off of it.
That's the new one.
Yeah, that's the game now. No, you're not seen this? It was originated by a Korean guy. A Korean guy, yeah. He was into hip hop culture. And he said, when he was asked, someone said, well, why don't you make chink properly? and he said, the word chink is racist, ghetto isn't. Yeah? Could only ever say that, ghetto. You understand? Into the ghetto. And so what he did, he said that there'd be no money in Chincopoly, but enough black people would be buying this game, and white folk too. Who buys most hip hop? White. What class? White middle class. So you got this thing. In fact, I saw a documentary once. One guy said at one time, rich white guys who have to go down to Africa on safari to get the same kind of flavour. What they do now, they just put it on TV. Black folk weren't allowed on MTV at the beginning. You know that story, don't you? Yeah. So it was like two Jewish guys, Walt Cream and Kevin Godley, who made the video for a track called Rocket by Herbie Hancock. And Herbie Hancock could only appear on a monitor, flashed in. He couldn't appear. That was at the beginning. MTV wouldn't have black folk on. Till they realized they could make from the rap. Then they had your MTV rap with Fat Five Freddy. Then that came on. Yeah, but that was the context of it. Then it goes from one hour a day, so 1 hour a week to 1 hour a day to 24/7. Yes? And anyway, you take notice of you see this is what I like about, he has a split, he's got the Goxie, he's got the Ray-Bans, he's got his bandana, he's got his Montlick, did you notice how he's got the vascularity in the veins? He's got his tattoo as well, the barbed wire, he's got his bling, he's got his lighter down here. Watch that, I don't know, oh god, it went too quick. It goes too quick on this. You see that? Who are they? And? Who's the one on this side? It's Nelly. It's Nelly. So all he's actually doing is using a stereotype that we are kind of using now. And you've got to check this tattooing thing that's going on. Because at one time, you have the tattoo? One time that'd be called a brand. Yeah, your slave brand. And then you got the chains. Yeah? It's only like it's only like a reinvention of some old stuff. But we're so comfortable with it. Then it was I never dressed like that. I mean, look at that one. How did It's the money in advertising.
Yeah.
A lot of money. Yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of money in advertising. So, what do you call somebody who works for no money at all and has no rights? A slave. Yeah? So, when was the last time you thought you got a paycheck for wearing your Nikes or your Adidas or any of your brands? Oh, sorry, the brands. You were wearing your brand. Yes? So we're walking around, tattooed up, wearing chains, wearing brands. Yes? And then now, another thing, we start going get into the business side of things. There's all this dynamic of, oh yeah, we've got, what is that, Fat Farm? Fat Farm. We have all these brands. Let's have a look at Pasta, what's that rap track? Pasta what? Pasta and had you heard of Alizé before some of the things? Alizé, nasty drink. Then what I used to drink Thunderbird, so then what was it? When I move, you move. When I move, you move. What's the dress? What's the dress? Louis Vuitton. Have you seen how much a Louis Vuitton dress? You talk about black books expensive? Shit. I took my daughter on a Monopoly trip around London, going to the streets, yes? But you know when you get to the greens and then you get to the dark blues, you know you'll pay major, but they have to redraft it now because the cost of houses up in Angel Islington is like going through the roof, so they have to redraft it all. But when you go around, we went to, there's no Bond Street, we went to New Bond Street, and Louis Vuitton shops down at the bottom towards, on the left-hand side. I would go like, damn. And yeah, I was going to a session in Bermondsey, a young white girl, 12 years old, but when I asked that girl, she's going, oh, Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. 12 years old, working class, probably underclass, very little money in the house, but dreaming of Louis Vuitton. That's brilliant sales, isn't it? That's brilliant sales. Oh yeah. So when I think about bought this thing, I want to make sure that we're going to have a good comparison. Monopoly gets Monopoly. There's these two things here. Images. You've got a benign old white male toy character. Does that make sense? Obviously a toy. Versus an aggressive young black male realistic character. Yeah? Okay. Oh, he's right in the middle of the board as well, same as Monopoly. He's right in the middle of the board. Instruction cards, community chest becomes ghetto stash. Chance becomes hustle. Players, the racing car, ship, book, boots, cannon, iron, top hat, dog becomes play as machine gun, a ganja leaves, basketball, malt liquor bottle, bag of crack, pimp, and a hoe. You sisters recognize yourself on there, of course, don't you? You recognize yourselves on there, don't you? You eat hoes, yes? Yeah, but what do you think the people playing the game is going to be conditioning themselves to think?
Exactly that.
Over and over and over and over. Yes? Here, punishment. You go to jail, but in Getopoly, you go to the emergency room. Property. Houses become crack houses. Hotels become projects. Pay rent, pay protection. Yeah? What do we go here? Direction, clockwise versus anti-clockwise. So what you're actually talking is arrested development. You're moving backwards. You know what I'm saying? This game, I've shown it. Like you go, yeah, the toppling man. And I said to them, that's okay. Well, what if your teacher's playing the game? Sorry, the magistrate is playing it. Sorry, the doctor, the ambulance driver meant to be driving the ambulance to your house when you got shot in the ghetto. And what was supposed to be there in 5 minutes going to take, 40, 50 minutes, something like that. So yeah, your house bleeds to death. Which has been happening up and down the country quite a bit. They say, well, is that going to be funny then? Isn't it fun? a lot of people laugh as long as it's not their ass. And if it becomes their ass, it's like, racism. I always say, what were you doing before that point? What were you doing before that point? It was a funny one. This is the present. In the face of this glamorous onslaught of promoting stereotypy, what is taught to rival these fascination influences to build a sounder sense of self-esteem? I.e., from what you paid for in school. What service delivery are you getting? Or did you get? What service do we receive as taxpayers for our children? The theory. Sorry, this is you see what I did is put all this down in here. See the tally top, oh gosh. Have you listened to somebody else to speak now? Watch this, I talked to my daughter last night, she's 14, and I started talking to her, I said to her, like, and she said, yeah, I'm going to school. So she understood! And I was like, alright, not constant. She could understand. I spent all my time going, what? She's off with that. But in the present, when black children of African descent talked about their heritage, is usually that, yes? Yeah. Okay, so when I ask you once again, how come we're letting that be the case? The national curriculum, you talk to teachers, they'll say, we'd like to do it, but the national curriculum, I said the national curriculum in history don't say that. The national curriculum, in actual fact, allows you to expand out almost anything you want to teach. Yeah.
How would you suggest that we take ownership of the national curriculum?
First of all, get a copy. And then what you do, you start looking into the areas that you can supplement it with a black content. Yeah? So that means that you're going to have to be genned up in other areas. Do you know about Dr. Mark Dean? Dr. Mark Dean is the guy who designed the PC. So that when we see these PCs here, he is a black man actually invented the PC. Yeah? There's things like that you can be flooding in little facts, little soundbite facts, but we've got to know them ourselves, isn't it? The world's fastest computer, for my shame, what's it gone there? Is that the world's fastest computer is a brother by the name of, that's it, Dr. Philip Emeagwali. I only knew about that. I was in Nigeria at Christmas and I went in to visit this woman, 104 years old. She's there. We went to when my wife was interviewing her, and we see the picture of this guy on the wall. That's so joking. So where I was is that we going, who's this guy? So I went and found out about him. And what do you have to do today to find out? Punch it in the search engine. It's really hard, isn't it? It's like, oh, what? It's hard. You seen that coming in? You watch the Fresh Prince?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh, what sound did? There's something wrong with this thing, Oh gosh. Two main characters are and Carlton, yes? They'll put who's the dumb one? Okay, what's this? Who's the dumb one in school? Carlton. You better believe it as well. Carlton's like grade A student, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see, what happens is this is how the game goes, is that Will is street smart and school dumb. Carlton is school smart and street dumb. I'm sorry, what's happening is that the background photographs are supposed to have gone. So what we're actually looking now, which character do you think most young people want to act like?
But my sister, she keeps on telling me now, that all the popular people in their school, the one I said, they're actually quite clever now. I was like, really? That's quite good. Right.
No, that's how it should be. There's nothing stopping you being both.
Yeah.
But the point is that even some of the best minds that you've got Just sit there flexing, pose, all this kind of business. Can't be seen to be cool. Well, it's your peer pressure, isn't it? You got to be doing that. Kick back, what's that?
Too cool for school.
Too good for school, as I say. Yeah, man, all of that stuff. To me, I just think, psh, you're being an ass. But like I say, I like bad youth. I like guys I like those who can play both ways. I got one boy who's involved in some quite negative activities, but he's doing an internship at JP Morgan soon. You understand me? And that's all I like, is that both worlds. Yeah, the world is a construct. You understand me? It's what you're going to do with it. Valentine's edition, though. This is what was said. Roses by Wilkes and Carlton. Roses are red, violets are blue. Carlton, me and Jazz are black. What colour are you? Does that mean it's to be black, to be like Will, street smart, and school done? Is that what it means? Well, let me ask you this. Why is Will in Bel Air?
But one little fact, you know, but yeah.
What's this? How street smart can he be if he had to get out of his own area? That boy would be street done, not school done.
And you know what, in real life, Phil's quite intelligent.
Yeah, not the first time he got his money, he wasn't.
No, they say when he's well educated and to go say those words in the script, I'm saying it's
Oh yeah. What's the name of the show?
yeah. It's the Fresh Prince.
It's the Fresh Prince. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So why is Will in Bel Air? Let's have a look here. You know these fools, don't you? These two. I cannot. You know something. I cannot find anything about this. It's just like new millennium buffoonery. That's all. It's pure buffoonery. But you know, I put that one in Birmingham the other week, and as soon as this good burger came up, this girl went, "Oh, press play, press play!" even the spies in the class looked at her like, "What?" As soon as she saw it, look, response, condition response. Is the thing there? But this is the thing here. You know this guy. You know that guy. Yes. If there's any one single character that I've started recently, so that I've got to get into, it's Tupac. To try and understand the genius of him. I went to my daughter's school I wanted to weigh up the classmate, basically. And so I went to do an English session, and I went in doing poetry. Some poetry. You know poetry? Get the poetry, put rhythm and poetry spells rap, yeah? It's what the origin of the term is. Rap music is rhythm and poetry. And what happened was, I started reading these love poems. And these used to go on like, "Oh, no, man, this is boring. And I said, "No, here's one more." That starts up and I said, "Do you any know who wrote these?" And one boy said, "Tupac." The rest of these going, "What?" He was a true genius. He had the good and he had the bad. And it's between the two that you can get some form of balance. But it's this character that he named himself for. This is a true, you know, a true gangster, this man. Machiavelli was an Italian statesman and student of politics. His name was long stood for all that is deep, dark, and treacherous in statesmanship. In Elizabethan literature, for example, there are hundreds of references that connect him with the evil one or the devil. He's best known for his book, The Prince, written in 1513 and published in 1532. Whoa! What's the significance of 1513? Isn't this funny? That's the day Pope Alexander VI, yes, said reduce to servitude all infidel peoples, and your black ass started getting enslaved. 1513, same year. So it says this book established Machiavelli as the father of the modern science of politics. It skillfully set forth the idea that a ruler need not trouble himself about the means he uses to accomplish a purpose. He must use any means, no matter how wicked, to strike down his enemies and make his people obey. By, what was it, the ends justify the means. It says Machiavelli set down the rules to be followed to keep power. So the World Book Encyclopedia 1974. So that's like a standard encyclopedia input, yeah? Not anything radical. So here we go. It says here, ghetto, the ghetto, ghetto. I've got to tell you this story. I'll tell you this story. I was down in Bristol doing a session I had about 70 odd children in a library in a school, secondary school. And one that is at year 9s. This one boy is there, he's mixed parenting boy, he's there, got his afro. Got afro now? Yeah? He's there combing. I laugh because I have my afro in 1972. You understand me? So he's like, nothing. So he's there combing it out, he's combing. So I said, yo, young blood, I said, lessons going on now. I said, put your comb away, please. No. So I start laughing. You know when you've been in a category A prison, dealing with some like, yeah. That's what I'm with the nonsense. You know, the protected prisoners. You know the guys who are murdering and raping women. You hear what I just said? Murdering and raping. Kill them first, then do them. You understand me? I'm talking these kind of guys, and yet this year 9 boy don't know his head from his ass. No. From I'm going like, I just start laughing and giggle. I don't get vexed, I just giggle. I said, you say no to me? He goes like, yeah. I says, why? And he says, I'm ghetto. And I said, what, you're Jewish? He goes, what? I said, guess it's a Jewish word. I said, you're Jewish. I said, you're mixed race, isn't it? I said, which one's a Jew? Your mum or your dad? I said, which one's black? I said, oh, never mind that. I said, pray to tell me, where's the ghetto in Bristol? He said, St. Paul's. I said, St. Paul's a ghetto. Tells me you don't want a ghetto he's ever been to or seen to it. See a ghetto. 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 Where's the ghettos in the UK now?
Associating place with violence or anything, or bad statements being ghetto.
They're getting it from, let me say so, they're getting it from the idea of black oppression. Well, the only place of the ghetto is here, in your head. Because there's no place now where black people alone are confined. Everywhere, all other races are living around them within proximity. Even if you go down onto Mike's Field Estate, my brother-in-law lives across the road from there, not even 50 yards, right? And I know how much his house is worth, his flat is worth. Tell me about ghetto. It's a state of mind when people repeating and conditioning. And you see, you have to do it. Coming over from the States and that thing. Look at this, AD 1611, the quarter of a city, chiefly in Italy, to which the Jews were restricted. That's what the Oxford Universal Dictionary defines it as. But watch this now. If you put that divide and rule, divide and conquer, and it says here, where the ghettos in the UK today, what it means is that we are marginalised ourselves by repeating those things and start listening to it. It's like Akon's track, his album, and he's repeating these things. All that ghetto this. So watch this. Instead of having to lock someone up, we'll lock ourselves up. But that's the Fresh Prince. That's the new Millennium Prince. That's the one you don't have to work at that. Let me give you a quote. Carter G. Woodson. I'd love to be able to do it. I don't know how to learn this. He said, where's he gone to? Carter. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. You do not have to tell him not to stand here or go yonder. He will find his proper place and will stay in it. You do not have to send him to the back door. He will go there without being told. In fact, if there is no back door, he will cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary. That's psychology. Psychology. I said to the youngsters, no, I said, who's stopping you learning in school? What do they say? They say themselves. Telling you, they break it down, they'll say themselves. Don't want to do that, that's okay. Thug life. Thug life. What is a thug? A Hindi word, it's an Indian word. Type, cheat, swindler. One of association of professional robbers and murderers in India who strangled their victims. You've got to take in context here that the British, they were against the British. Yes? The thugs. The thuggy. A cutthroat, ruffian, or rough. To assassinate by thuggy or thuggery. You know the assassins, you know what they were? The assassins were the Hashemi, the Islamic, the Muslim hardcore fighters. They used to smoke a thing called hashish, then go into battle. Yeah? So the term assassinate comes from them, it's a reminder of that. It's based on the Crusades. Togi, the system of robbery and murder practiced by the thugs. So then, let's also view the basic. Well, so what did he have across his belly? So you had the thug life across there, yes? Now what did he say it stood for? That's right. The hate you gave little influence everyone. Yes?
Yes.
Now, that's called formative education. Given a child before the age of 7, I will give you the man. Formative education. So what's happening here? Tupac's made a statement from his background. That's why I dropped Uncle Sam in there. Tupac was a very smart guy, learned from very difficult backgrounds, yeah? He got how to cope with things. But did not cope too well when it came to balancing things out. Yes? And then, as an artist, he was actually worth more dead than he was alive. Which is why he's still making records now. Yeah? Sorry, this is the last one on this section. So, this is just to do a quick roundup. What you see there is Machiavelli, who wrote the book The Prince. The prince he was writing for was Cesare Borgia. Do you know a film called Friday?
Yeah.
Do you remember, what was it? Do you remember the main driver of the story? About Smokey?
Yeah.
And Smokey had been doing what? Smoking. What was he supposed to be doing with it? He's supposed to be selling. Don't get high on your own supply. So he's breaking the basics of good dealing, of any form of sales. He's getting high on his own supply. So Big Worm actually comes and says to him, he said, messing with my money is like messing with my emotions, Smokey. He said there are principles and principalities about it. The prince. So what do you do, son myself? What would Cesare Borgia have done? Do you know this guy, what's it? Hannibal Lecter. Have you seen that character? Pretty accurate. As a very learned, scholarly, and a total unmitigated psychopath. Go back into history, that's exactly what these people were. Cesare Borgia's uncle Rodrigo is Pope Alexander VI. And Pope Alexander VI was a person who sanctioned slavery. Sanctioned it. It was going on, but he made it legal. Does it make sense? This is why I think it was a Pope went to Goree Island and he apologised for slavery. The Catholic Church apologised for slavery. They didn't say anything about paying any money back. We got the apology. So, let me just take this one out and get into this other thing. Are we alright so far? Southland. So, this is what I was saying. This is some of the stuff I'm trying to put forward about trying to get a repair job done. Obi developments. Obi, the meanings of the word. For our focus, the word originates from the Igbo language in West Africa, although it is present in many languages across the continent. There are 9 basic meanings: the heart, wish, home and kindred, chief, lineage, soul, spirit, mind, and shrine house. You had a session, was it last week you had the thing on slavery?
Yeah.
Okay. What we can do is use those principles as to form an analysis, a framework of analysis. The term can be used to form parameters to understand the ongoing damage created by the recent histories of slavery and colonialism. Does it make sense? For instance, take heart in French is coeur, yes? The root of the term courage. Yes? If you don't have courage to stand up to do things, you'll be a weak heart. Yes? Nobody, as far as I know, likes a weak heart. Does this make sense? Take the next one, wish. What are your wishes and aspirations? Most people are being conditioned now to have materialistic aims and goals, etc. Not even starting to think about the anything deeper in life. It's just going to be this thing, it's very face out. You are what you wear. Yeah? I didn't say you are what you eat. Because if you go, you are what you eat, then we know we're in trouble, yeah? No, I've got this little thing I do with the youth. I sometimes do. I say to young people, right? Imagine this. So I do this with you, right? I say, have you seen those Great Danes, those big dogs? Can you imagine a Great Dane lays a turd on the floor here, big steaming piece of shit. Can you imagine this now? Are you going? Is that going? No, I just ask you now. If you saw a big piece of dog turd, would you pick it up and eat it? Would it cross your mind? Would you do that? Okay, watch this. What if I picked up the piece of dog poo and I coated it in icing sugar? Would you eat it then? Because it's sweeter. No? Alright then. What if I picked it up, rolled it in icing sugar and covered it in thick milk chocolate with a nice big brown on top? Would you eat it then?
I know it's dog shit, I wouldn't.
You knew it was dog shit, you would. If you knew the content, you wouldn't. But it's thick milk chocolate with a nice big brown.
Don't matter, it's still dog shit.
I pick up the dog shit, I roll it in icing sugar, and then I cover it in thick milk chocolate with a nice design on top, and I wrap it in a nice foil, bright red, green, gold foil bar, and I call it ghetto bar. and I get 50, not even a full dollar. I get into advertising ghetto bar. It stinks. No, I'm not sealed in with French. How many youngsters do you know read ingredients on packets? Do you know some guys actually just turn around and say, I'd eat it. They said because of the marketing, because marketing and people eat it. Yeah, but how much shit are we taking? It's a simple thing. And that's going to affect your heart, your wishes, home and kindred. I was in Birmingham last week in a school, year 8 boys, there are 27 boys in the class, 2 only with father at home. All black boys. I said to them, okay, let's have a look at this. I said, stand on your chairs. They went, what? Stand on your chairs. What? Get up on your chairs. And they go, oh. I said, put your left foot on the table. What? Put your left foot on the table. No, they go like, roll your trouser leg up. Oops. Roll your trouser leg up. Black face, grey leg. Flaky foot. Dry and crusty. Yes? Foot had not seen grease for how long? Who is meant to be showing a 12, 13-year-old boy to grease them foot? The answer, nobody. No, I'm telling you that we're in crisis. And I say to these boys, I've got this session with boys, session with the girls, and the hygiene of girls is usually higher, yes? Yes? Because it's in the interest of women and feminine hygiene that you take care of that business, isn't it? Yes? Boys, nah, it's not. Boys, external genital. Girls, internal genital. Yes? Boys, be nasty. And don't grease them foot. And I'll be saying to the girls, if they're not looking after their legs like that. Now, what you see, I have to talk strong. You see, hey, I'm alright. So what I'm saying is that when you got out the home and the kindred, someone should be actually checking those things out. It should be part of the training that they know they have to do those things and look after themselves. What about the chief? Who's in charge of us? Who's leading us? Who are the people doing lineage? How often do we get into this thing? We go to church, honor thy father and thy mother, our days might be long upon the land of the Lord thy God giveth thee, as long as it's not going back to the days when we were natives and we were into all of that black stuff, pagan stuff, that stuff that's really, oh, we don't want to look at that now. I was there in the village this time, not been there for about four years. Went back to the village, you see, big tree, massive tree, big old tree. What happened was I go to look at that big old tree, Big old tree's gone. Why? Because one of the local priests told the people there it's part of fetish of your ancestors and you must cut it down. Here's the funny one. Nigeria. How did it get its name?
Yeah, colonial. It's a colonial.
How do you know? How did it get its name, Nigeria? You know this? London Times newspaper. There's a competition among the workers in 1898 to name the British West African protectorates. And when I was, one white woman called Flora Shaw coined the term Nigeria, meaning River Niger area. In 1904, the largest population in Africa, named for the London Times newspaper. Sorry, man.
The meaning what?
River Niger area, the Niger area, Nigeria. Thank God it wasn't the sun. Nick Bongo Bongo land.
Where are you from?
Yeah, man. And today I'd be saying, my mother's English, my father's Nick Bongo Bongolian. That's the power to name and define. That's exactly how it is. That is a construct. Not one map in Africa, not one line on that map in Africa was drawn by an African. Yes? Every time you look at that, you look at the divisions in Africa, go north and look at the most divided place on the planet, which is called Europe. Yes? Go check out Europe. And all they've done is taught that and put it into the conditioning of the people. So what it says? Nigeria, divided by 3 main language groups, 4 including Fula. So you've got the Hausa in the north, Yoruba, Igbo. Yes? Let's go another level and go on to the religions. Muslim, Christian, Muslim and Christian. Yes? Let's put another layer on called politics. Then you go in, whoops. Yes? Not which of the constructs belong to Africans. Which of the constructs belong to Africans?
The language.
The language, which is based on your tribe, your nation. Yes? Anything outside of that is a construct taught by other people.
The culture. It's like, for instance, I've got descendants from the Yoruba tribe. You know, I know that goes. There's certain tribes where you can't follow it back because they kept that tree. They didn't cut it down.
Oh.
It was done. So that tree, and it can be traced. Even certain tribes, like say for instance, Ashanti, yeah, over next door, basically. There's certain so-called tribes or cultures that still go back to the original roots and acknowledge that, okay, even though we're here today,
Better be quick. You better be quick because those original roots are getting buried over with all kinds of stuff.
I was going to say, do you remember when I used to show that documentary on the TV called Disappearing World?
Yeah.
They used to go to Africa, film all the tribes, and that's because they knew that their culture would die out after they met them.
Going on that thing. Did you hear about these people in the tsunami who were on 2 islands? There were 2 islands. And they were saying that they went out there to try and recover what they could because it must have been wiped out. These are like backwards people. They don't have any contact with the European Western world and all this. And they're all there just walking up and down, nothing wrong with it. You know, wow, they said, we listened to the animals. We went up land. Didn't get catch up. They were one with nature. But that's another dynamic. So where do we get to? Oh, sorry. Soul, spirit, mind, shrine house. How do we celebrate our own culture, our own history? I did this thing for the Live magazine one time about 2 guys from Nottingham. They're part of 5 guys who get in a Land Cruiser, go down to London for a night out. 19 years old, but trying to get older. They get to this nightclub and 2 of them there. This one guy, his sister across it, she's in a red velvet mini dress, she's looking fine, she's stushing on them. Damn. There's one of the boy, he goes like, oh, damn. And his friend goes, oh, it's good for dance, man. So the music changed, so she went and sat down, on a bar stool, by the bar. And he goes, oh, it's good for. And then his friend pushes him and he goes around, yeah? He lies there, like, and he walks in, she turns and she looks him up and down. She says, do you want a drink? And he went, oh. He goes, yeah. Start chatting. Get on really well, dancing together, and then slow dance going, slow tune and all this, and it was all really I say everything's all cool and stuff. Then it comes down to that thing, he's got to decide, is he going to travel back to Nottingham, or is he going to stay over, try and stay over, whatever. And she says, do you want to stay? He's a, but it was, you know, so he gets to she's a flat student, she's a student in London from Manchester. And, you know, he goes into the flat, you know, she's got the usual pictures on the wall, you know, and all that, but what's his mind on? Hitting it, that's right. Well, and he's you know, he gets to that thing, that embarrassed silence. I don't know if you experienced that one. Are you not? Embarrassed silence. Maybe it's just me. Okay, sorry. Embarrassed silence, and then, you know, the little, and the movements. But he's a good boy, he's Jimmy Hat and everything. And just, you know, 3 times in the night. Got up in the morning. Yeah, got up in the morning, same thing again. Then get up, get in the shower, wash each other's back. This is cool. She said, you want some breakfast? And, you know, make breakfast together. And there's all this, everything's nice, isn't it? And then he sat there, and she said, go sit down, I'll bring you the breakfast. And he sat there, and his eyes aren't the same as the night before. His eyes were on the prize the night before. In the morning light, everything's up, and he's looking around the room, and he's like noticing things. And all of a sudden his face goes like, and she says, what's the matter? And he says, why have you got a picture of my dad here? Daddy was a dog. Daddy was up and down the country spreading his seed. You know what I'm saying? He was saying it's polygamy. But what it was illegamy. Because the other children didn't know about the other children. The other women didn't know about the other women. But why is it that there's certain sisters, knowing that the brothers have got picnic like this all over the place, still are going to deal with that man? Is it their things is so sweet that he's going to change his mind? What's going on? What's the grounds? What's the grounds that you meet? But you see, that's what the shrine house does. Because if on the principle of a shrine, it's stating who and what you are to anybody who's coming into your life. I did actually know a guy, I knew of a guy in Manchester who started seeing a sister who met at Blues and everything. He was there seeing about 3 months. Summertime, low wall, sat outside with his mum, and the girlfriend was coming round for the first time, and the mum took one look, ran in the house crying. It's his sister, his half-sister. So, you know, how is he supposed to know that? But that's the kind of destruction that we're actually on at the present time, because we'd be jumping with all the warnings or whatever that's about. Yeah? I'm kind of blessed because I've never met my evil brothers and sisters, you understand me? So I got to be careful. So it's only if you've got that kind of thing in mind. But what we're going to do is just look at the mind thing to start with, the brain hemispheres. Have you come any things on the brain hemispheres before? Have you got that? This is going to be a mess, you know, I'm sorry. I've done this thing and it's supposed to be fading out and it's not picking up. Let's see what we can get though. Any work on brain hemispheres, yes, no? Yes, sir. Little bits. Controls left side of the body, controls right side. You have the feminine and the masculine. You got the emotional. Oh, look at that, this is messing up. You got the rational. This is a mess, man. I should have put it in my own computer. So we'll try it. Rhythm, right hemisphere of the brain, yes? And it goes down here. Spatial awareness, up, down, left, right, all of these things. Right hemisphere as well. You got down here, you got the whole picture, looking at the whole picture. You got imagination. You got colour. You got dimensions. You got daydreaming. Who daydreams here? Is there any daydreamers here? Yeah? Daydreaming. You know what that's at? That's what you have. Cyclic things. What goes around? Goes around, yeah? And then that gives us a disc, the disc shape. We'll go the other side here. Start down this side, rational side. Words, numbers, analysis, sequences, lists, logic, conscious, focused out, and linear things. The line, the bottom line, you come across that before? What words are going to be formed at the bottom? Can you guess? Okay, just what's this now? Smoking weed. People smoke weed. Which hemisphere of the brain is it taking to? It goes to your right hemisphere. Yeah? It's your right hemisphere. It goes to your right hemisphere where all those things are done. Now, when you're in school learning, You're supposed to be in the left hemisphere. Your store in your right is supposed to be in your left. Words, numbers, that's like the communicator, yeah? That's what you're doing in the outer world, you're doing all these things, yeah? But it's taken, it stores over right. Basically, that's a basic thing. So you see, what happens is true power. If you look at the word power, in Greek, there's a word ik, which is Greek for a horse. The horse, the animal associated with power. You've heard of horsepower before? Okay. So if we drop the word in there, what does it say? It's discipline. Yeah? Now, how many times, like I said, how many times do they teach our children in school about the brain? I've got 7-year-olds on this. Children will understand, they'll take in almost anything. But then I get adults say they won't understand. What they mean is, I don't understand. But they're going to restrict the children. They'll restrict the children through their own inabilities. Vulture, do you see that? Let me go back here. You've seen this before, yes? And you see the two creatures on there. You've got the vulture, which is timeless, floating around. Then on the other side, you've got the cobra, which is time-bound. There's a cobra that's going to bite you. No? What does it do?
It makes you with its face.
It rises up, yes? Where is there a cobra in here? Someone's got a symbol of a cobra. There he is. No. Me? Yeah.
Or my tag.
Your tag.
Oh, alright.
It's a cobra.
So where's your tag?
Me, I decided not to wear one tonight.
You don't have more tag.
No, I do wear the tag.
Oh.
I'm not made as that's called power dressing.
Well, I'm going for what? What do you expect?
Boom. Power dress, there's an expectation. Yeah? Power dress. Put that, take the tie off, lay it down, pick it up, or could have borrowed a tie, couldn't it?
Yeah, sure.
So. Thank you. It's a nice tie.
I know.
You want it back?
Of course.
You see this? I don't know if you know that. Go to a hot country and see that on the floor. What are you going to do? In the dark. Snake! Snake! I think it'll be burning. Don't come around here again. Watch out, watch out. Take it up like this. You see that? And look at the head. You understand me? And they say it's the beard is what they'll tell you most fashion things. That's power dressing. That's the Arius or the Arat, the protector. The timing, doing the right thing at the right time. Does that make sense? And they call this power dressing. Now watch this. Sisters in a room here. How many times are you going to be expected to wear a tie after you've left school?
Never.
And they call it power dressing. They call that exclusion. These are the symbols coming back from, well, let's see, 18th dynasty. So we're talking like 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, yes?
Yeah. You see like how all the children nowadays when there's full time short, like,
Yeah,
like
fat,
all the
yeah.
sound coming out there. Do you think that has some significance to say that there's a lack of power or something like that?
Well, you got subconsciously, because what they're doing is tying themselves up. Yeah? But if you look on the top of that crown, you see it actually does bunch. Yeah? The Arius, the Arat. So those things you can interpret it either way. I personally used to do that about, I think it was in 1973. We used to wear the short tie, fat at the top and then short here. Yeah? It's like a fashion thing. But personally speaking, if I take some of the youths on business, I expect them to dress long, you understand me? Dress properly, as it's meant to be worn. But these are the questions. If we start with this thing here, the thing called the corpus callosum is a network of over 200 million fibers separating the right and left hemispheres of the brain. It's therefore called the chief communicator because it connects and transfers information between the two hemispheres. Yes? So this is a relationship that's going in your head between the right and left, or the masculine and feminine. So if we go to this thing here, It's called the crown of justification. That's what that particular crown is called, on the head there. They call it the crown of justification. Now, how many times do we justify our behaviors and actions in a week? Or to your lecturers? If you got a late assignment. And you give them the reason why. Or is it an excuse? Which one is it? What if you type in stuff and you justify it, don't you put it in the right place? Well, that's what the thing is. The crown of justification is talking about the balance between the right and left, meaning that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I have a lecture I give I'll risk this one now. I do this lecture, especially with secondary school girls. I loved it. Oh my God. The title is Women Are Stupid, Women Are Dumb. You see a lot of the brothers in here going like, I ain't saying shit. I may agree with you, but so, women are stupid, women are dumb. Now, if I get through the first couple of minutes, I know I'm going to be alright. I saw year 11s down in Bermondsey. These 11 girls stood up to fight me. Literally, you're not saying that. I said, why? Can you not understand the drawing of writing? Don't worry, I had to start winding them up and cursing on them. I'm like, no. By the time we start breaking it down, and we break down the fact, which subject in school is based on your mother?
Home economics.
That's the original economics, ecology, usage it is. But no. What are the core subjects? Maths, English, science. Is maths. Math. Mother. Hey, ma. Maths is based on the mother. You didn't know that? You didn't know that? What's the first language you speak called? Called your mother tongue. So the English language is your mother tongue. English itself, by definition, we can hear from 7 months in the womb. So you're first hearing that language spoken there. By the time we've finished all of this thing, we do that feminine analysis, the female analysis on things, these girls are sat there going like, what? What? I said, no, you're not getting, what's this? Take the word lesson, change the last vowel to an E, and it says, lesson. You haven't got the sense you were, see, this is where, no, watch me. This is where it's all going now. This is called proverbs and parables. Proverb, a little sayings, which contain these timeless truths. They say you haven't got the sense you were born with. And what happens is, we go to school, those that Bob Marley said, they built their schools to make the schools. And we need to be on guard in there as to what we're being taught. We paid for it, we need to watch it. So you see what the dynamic is. If I say someone's stupid, what does the word mean, stupid? What if I've been drinking? I'm in a drunken what? Stupor. Stupor means you're not in the position you're meant to be. You're out of balance. Does that make sense? And what does the word dumb mean? You can't speak. So, number one, girls are generally not in the position they're meant to be in because they're not central in the society. Look at that. Look at this. Who's got a birthday coming up? Who's got a birthday coming up? Who's going to get the present? Who's going to get the present? You will. But watch this. Who went into labour on that day? Who did all the work? After 9 months, carrying you, and then. Always. Watch out. You see, the thing is, that's the biggest diss there is. Every single birthday on the planet's Mother's Day. And yeah, a woman can have 6 children and only one Mother's Day. And you see, what I'm saying is we're not going back and connecting back with respect to where we came from. It's what I mean. It's a basic reason. It's just a basic reasoning. So my daughter, when she came to me, and I had my own reasons for this. I said to her when she used to come, around about July, August. She said, my birthday soon. I said, so what are you buying your mum? First thing, because all I'm saying is, all she could do on her birthday was open the cards to declare it was a birthday. Then in the evening time, she'd sit before her mum. And her mum, she'd be talking to her mum, and her mum would, tell her all the things she was pleased with and not pleased with for the year. Then she'd say, thank you, Mum, and give her mum the present. Yeah. Then